Good day, and welcome to our show. This is Rick at Techspin,
I'm Shane.
and we just saw the 4DX.
Justice League movie.
Yeah, and
Um,
and
Well, there's actually there's a lot to say about it. The setup was pretty good. The pacing was really good.
yeah.
Um,
I have to confess, I actually did fall asleep during the movie for 5 minutes, but that's only because I've been working very hard this week, so it's not a reflection on the movie. But I did miss a little bit of plot. But yeah, it opened pretty strong too.
yeah. It was really nice because of the way that they just sort of touched on the characters individually and then slowly started pushing them together.
Yeah. So this is going to be a no spoiler section here. We may do a spoiler thing afterwards because there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
For
there really is. There really is.
If you haven't seen the previous movie, Batman v Superman, you go see it. Okay, that's your warning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The events in that are key to what happens in this film.
Okay, so go see that. And if you haven't seen that, just stop this video right now because the next sentence I'm going to say is, so Superman's dead. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That was in the last movie. You had 2 years to watch it. All right, so you had your warning.
Yeah. Cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah, Superman, he's dead. Oh,
Way to spoil it, man.
Oh,
Way to spoil
tell
it.
you, man.
But that being said, Superman is dead. The world is definitely feeling the weight of that. Things have gotten a lot darker, and that's where our story picks up.
What all is in the preview? Have you seen the preview for Justice League? I have not myself. I went into it cold. I knew like Flash was going to be in it because we and Aquaman and stuff.
Yeah. The trailers for it, I think, were really good at not revealing too much about the plot.
So they didn't reveal the bad guy, or
They did in the most recent trailers.
oh, okay, just the most common.
But like it didn't really tell you what the plot was, what the end game was.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I like movies where there's actually some surprise to it, not like, oh yeah, like the Star Trek one where the third one, where they showed, was it Star Trek? I think it was. Anyway, they reveal kind of the end game. Is like, oh really? In the trailer?
Yeah. Well, and actually, it's funny because. Quick shout out to the Thor Ragnarok. We were going to do a video for that, but we got way too busy.
We had costumes and everything. Oh man.
Yeah, and it was.
Yes.
It would have been epic.
Yeah,
I would have loved it.
But by the way, 4DX Thor Ragnarok is worth it. You should go
definitely.
see it. That would be a 10 for me.
Going into it, I was actually really concerned because I love trailers. Huge fan. I like to get like little bits and pieces. But, I'm not one of those people that's concerned about spoiling the movie by learning too much. However, it did seem, before I went to go see that film, that, maybe the trailers had put a little bit too much information into it. But
For which one? For
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
But when I actually went and saw the film, it was still like, there was a lot of key moments in it, but one of the things I have to say is the trailers do give you a good idea of what the film's going to be like, but not actually what it's going to be about, because a lot of the sequences that they used in the trailers ended up on the cutting room floor by the time the film was released.
Interesting.
And I did actually notice tonight that there were a couple of scenes again that they used in the trailers for Justice League,
right.
That were either altered in the film or didn't actually make it into the film.
Yeah.
But just kind of wanted to give you a sense of what the movie was going to be like. So it was.
All right. Well, without talking about that one too much, and by the way, Jeff Goldblum, awesome performance guy, very nice. Yeah. So Ben Affleck in this.
Pleasantly surprised.
I was really surprised when he did Batman v Superman. A lot of people were talking about Ben Affleck. Even me, I was like, I don't know, can Ben pull it off? He's got acting range, and I always knew that was in him, and some actors do make stinker movies. It does happen.
Yeah. Well,
but he was really a refreshing Batman. I liked him.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is in Batman v Superman, we got to see the gritty Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Although in this film, I think he lightens it up. Like, he does show more personality than just some angry vigilante out for vengeance.
Yeah, because Christian Bale's portrayal of it was that set a bar for how dark Batman can be. But at the same time, Batman isn't always just like that, unless you're talking about like Frank Miller's Batman or something like that. You see the comic side of him, and he's got personality, and he shows his interactions with people, this kind of thing. So I really like this side. I mean, he's still dark, he's still brutal, and you still have that range, but there's also a little bit of humor from Batman too, which is good. I like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like I said, he actually shows personality.
Yeah.
In this movie. And the other thing, actually, I'm glad that you mentioned Frank Miller, is that I noticed that the costume that they went for in this film is very, very much like the style that was used in Dark Knight Returns, with a short.
Yeah. I like that style. It's obviously Batman. It's Batman. He doesn't need to have ears up to here.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I mean, through that one original film franchise, it seemed like the ears were getting longer with every sequel.
Pick up 200 channels with these things.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so it's nice to see them go back to like a little bit more of a retro look, and to kind of get rid of the cheesy, like every single vehicle he has to somehow look like a bat or his logo or.
I like the way they got away from the Christian Nolan. I like Christian Nolan's concept and idea of that, but they got away from his kind of massive, kind of bulky Batmobile destroyer kind of thing, and they kind of went with a more sleek vehicle this time.
Yeah.
I won't reveal too much, but they went with a more sleek vehicle.
Yeah. The one vehicle I think is almost like sort of a hybrid of multiple films, but kind of an homage to the to the first Michael Keaton one.
Yeah, that's true, and it's definitely designed along those lines.
Stylistically, it's similar. Like you can see an influence there where they're just like take it back to make it look really, really cool, really unique.
But updated for 2017, obviously.
Yeah, but sure. I mean, the other thing too is the vehicles were not overly featured.
Yeah.
They were exactly what they were meant to be, is a vehicle, both literally and, as a plot vehicle,
Yeah.
Like they were just literally to get him from one place to another.
Yeah, that was nice. How about Henry Cavill in this? Well, I don't want to say anything more, just like about his acting performance.
Yeah,
Did you know the actor when Zack Snyder cast him in the first Man of Steel? Like, had you heard of Henry Cavill before? Because I had not.
No, I to be honest, I had not, and I think that was one of the reasons that he was chosen to fill the role. Because previously, before that, they had always been like looking at various like A-list actors and whatnot. It's like, oh well, who would make a good Superman? And I remember at one point, before Superman Returns, they were considering Nicolas Cage for the part.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, he's done some good stuff.
Drive Angry.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I even liked him in the Ghost Rider films.
Yeah, I liked him. I know they got shit on by the public, but it was they were good, decent films.
I liked him in that.
Yeah.
But
speaking, let's clarify that it was Hollywood A-list actors, because Henry Cavill is well known in Britain. He's a very, well-known British actor, especially doing Man from U.N.C.L.E. around the same time.
Yeah,
that was a great film too.
Yeah, but okay.
So how was he in this movie? You figure?
Pretty good. Actually, I liked his part in this better than I did in Batman v Superman.
What the script or the direction he's given in this movie is really suited for his character, and he plays it excellently. It's very, very well done. And when you see him on screen, I'll just say that you're like, oh my god, this is why I came to this movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple parts near the end you're just like, oh my god, like, oh.
So yeah, let's.
Amy Adams is in it doing the Lois Lane. She did a pretty decent job, I think.
Yeah. Although I like Amy Adams, you know, like I think, you know, she's like a really solid actress.
Yeah.
Good foundation.
She really has that good interplay with other characters too.
Yeah. I think like what it is you know she is really good at eliciting emotional response out of the people that she's working with.
Yeah.
So you always feel like, you know, she does actually have a relationship with the people she's sharing a screen with.
That's true. What's the next one on the list? Get you on your list here. We got this one here.
Oh, Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. You know what? She seems to so far be the jewel of the DCEU.
Yeah.
You know, like I honestly, I loved her at Batman v Superman. So far, and including this Justice League that we saw tonight, I would still have to say that, you know, Wonder Woman as a film shines the most, and you know she's brought her A game to like all the films.
When I saw her in Batman v Superman, you know, it was I thought it was a really strong performance from her, and she definitely interplayed with the other characters, you know, with Batman and Superman and stuff. And when they showed up in the 3, I got chills in the theater. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like, oh, this is awesome. I didn't go out of my way to watch the Wonder Woman movie. You know, actually, I miss it in the theater. It's like, yeah, it's okay. It's got Chris Pine in it. All right, well, that's a Star Trek guy. I guess I'll watch it, right? It was actually really good.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
It was an amazing film, and I mean, like, I think probably after I went to go see that, and a bunch of people that I was working with at the time, and a bunch of my friends had not seen it yet, and anytime anybody ever asked me my opinion of the film, I said it's suitably badass.
Yeah.
You know, like the portrayal of the Amazons came across as, you know, a strong culture, a strong people, a race of warriors, protectors, without being
Xena warrior princess.
Well, without being preachy, really. You know, like, I mean, I think like feminism and equality is very, very important, but a lot of people just kind of shut down as soon as someone starts getting preachy about it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's become a very strong role model for, you know, I imagine for girls growing up and stuff. It'd be like, yeah, I can be a kick-ass woman, and you know, I kind of feel weird saying that because, you know, Batman and Superman in this movie and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, she adds so much and brings so much to that movie. They wrote the part for her really well for this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, I mean, you look at the character. She's, you know, she's ancient. Yeah. You know, like
a few thousand years.
Yeah, like everybody else, you know, pretty much in the film is 50 or younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, well, you know, with a couple of people who are older than that, but, you know, like everyone's less than the age of 100. And, you know, here's a person who's, you know, studied multiple cultures, multiple languages, has pretty much studied science since it was the beginning of science, as far as like, you know, like biology and,
yeah, wow,
you know, whatever. And so she has had a window into the varied cultures of the world and has kind of watched the world grow up, and now she's interacting with these people who just don't have that kind of perspective.
Yeah. So how about I want to keep moving along here.
No, I just to wrap up my point, is that it's really, really hard for an actor to play a part like that, and yet she pulls it off.
And she actually did that movie when she was pregnant, right? I heard the story that she She actually had a green over her stomach, and she actually filmed a lot of that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least when they went back to do reshoots.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But in this movie,
yeah,
excellent, right? Like the battle scenes with her in this movie is just wow. I was really, really surprised. It's like, you know, we both grew up watching Justice League animated series on TV, and that was like the high point of my week.
Yeah. I really loved that series. Which actually brings us to the next one, as I know this one was a touchy one for you going in.
Yeah,
Ezra Miller.
I'll give the guys due. Okay, I was more than upset when they didn't cast the TV Flash.
Grant Gustin.
Yeah, thank you. When they didn't cast him in the movie, I was like, you know, he's what everyone loves right now. That's why this show has gone on so long, and the character development and the everything. I was like, oh, they didn't cast him. Ezra Miller did a good job.
Yeah, he did. He did
a good job.
You know, I mean, it's...
I don't want to give it to him. I'm team Gustin. I even like tweeted to Grant Gustin like, go Team Gustin, but he did a good job.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job. And I mean, the thing is, you know, I've seen him in other stuff, and you know, I do actually like him in other things that he's done. But
he's a good actor. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he is a good actor. This is definitely a new take on the Flash, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because I mean, there's Justice League Flash.
Yeah.
Right. Animated series, and then there's the Flash TV series.
Yeah.
And then there's Ezra Miller's take on the Flash, and it's, I want to say it's kind of halfway in between. Yeah. He's not that serious. I mean, I kind of want to see a Flash more like the animated series.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for. You know, we had this talk earlier, but I'm glad that they didn't tie it into the TV series, just because it has already established itself, like that whole Arrowverse going on, and then to try and tie the movies into it after the movies have established themselves, and you know, and then you got to like try and meld them together, and you know that always gets messy, and you know one of the two franchises is going to get wrecked.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You know, in that respect, I'm happy, because if you know Grant had been cast for the movie, then if they didn't tie it in, that would have confused a lot of people.
I guess the other big part is, of course, scheduling too, because having to actually film in Vancouver for the most part, and then traveling to London for where they're filming the other parts. I guess that would have destroyed the show or caused some serious problems. Barry is trapped in an alternate universe for 7 episodes. But no, he did a good job, and there are some good comedic moments. There's a lot of funny, like you kind of do see that's the Flash, and he's still got that glib kind of thing, but he's more klutzy than glib, because the Flash is all boisterous and like this, and Ezra's character or take on his character is a little bit more klutzy, but it's endearing.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Coming up on the next one, I'll say straight out, I didn't think I would ever say this. They made Aquaman cool. I didn't see it coming. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, he'll be an alright character, but they pulled it off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go back to the comic books though, like over the last 20 years, they have been actually making Aquaman an interesting character. He is a badass. That is all there in the comic books, but unfortunately at some point, I think starting in the 70s and the 80s, Aquaman had TV appearances.
Yes, I was just going to touch on that.
Yeah, and
riding the dolphins or something.
Yeah, and like having conversation with like fish, like suddenly this undersized tuna comes out and like attacks a bad guy, and it's like you're like, what?
Send fish after the main boss.
Riding a seahorse.
Oh God! I'm Aquaman.
Yeah, like that's terrible. Making like the worst superhero possible. It's like,
they got Jason Momoa to play it, and he was recently in it wasn't Hercules, it was Conan. Yeah. Actually, he doesn't look like him, because I mean he's got a more, I want to say clean cut appearance, but you see him in Conan in the poster right there. He's not clean cut at all. He's got a really good take on Aquaman, and his performance was excellent. he was kind of all like in Conan, so I was like, oh, Aquaman's going to be like sixth grade, back of the bus kid,
Or like, a standard Hulk vocabulary kind of,
yeah. No, he's intelligent and very, like we've seen Aquaman a bit in Justice League in the animated, and he was very like, this is my territory. I'm in the water, like this kind of thing. Don't mess with me, kind of thing. And I think maybe Jason took a little bit of that point, and became a very strong lead, very strong character. And he doesn't bring up the water that much. I mean, he does some stuff, but I mean,
there's various references to it throughout the film. Just kind of like little jabs at the previous perception of Aquaman.
But he's got his spear. His hay fork, So, but he's more of a, he's fighting on land kind of thing. So I mean, he adds to the team, and they did a good job of including him.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is at no point did he summon sea creatures in order to do his fighting for him. So that was definitely nice.
Yeah.
The attitude was perfect, and. Because one of the things that did bother me about, previous but more badass versions of Aquaman is, he just had this tendency of going like, I only care about Atlantis, and, all you, land dwellers can perish, whatever.
Yeah,
and wouldn't ever get involved. Like, he didn't care about anybody but the people who lived in Atlantis.
Yeah.
And
so they made it more worldly,
Yeah, and actually, speaking of Atlantis, that's actually where I picked up his career, was Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he played Ronan for, I think he came in the second season.
Wow.
He was on there until the series ended.
I heard that was a good show. I only saw a couple of episodes of that.
Yeah, no, I watched that show straight through.
Move on to the next one.
Ray Fisher, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, this isn't a spoiler because he was actually in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. He was in Dawn of Justice as a cyborg, really? Was he in there? I don't remember.
Yes, he, okay.
Spoiler if you haven't seen it. By the way, Superman's dead.
There is a series or the sequence of really quick shots that happen at the end when Bruce Wayne is investigating other powered individuals.
Well, I mean, that wasn't part of the Aquaman and Flash thing, was it? Because they had the screen and they had the kind of Aquaman symbol and the Flash symbol. You're like, oh, okay, I can figure those out. And then
it was in there.
Oh, really?
It was in there, but they actually had video footage of him, I guess, getting his cybernetics worked on or something.
I gotta go see that again.
At that point, I believe he was already cast, and they were.
Oh, okay, and they're just like kind
of. So they actually used shots of him, whereas I don't believe at the time they had decided on Ezra Miller, and I believe the Jason Momoa thing was either still in negotiations or they were just keeping it a secret.
Yeah. He doesn't have many credits at all. He's got 6 acting credits on IMDb here. I'm checking it out. But good performance by him.
Yes. Yeah.
Really good performance.
Yeah. Very, very solid.
He's actually, I would say, he's one of the stars, the cast, because he's so intertwined with the storyline and is working with the other superheroes that you really feel he's like part of it. He's not like just a tag along.
Although actually they did a really, really good job of integrating all the characters into it.
Yeah, the writing was excellent. I wonder who wrote this one.
Let's check.
Film editing, produced by. Well, we already talked about this before. Do we have writing in here? But we know that.
Writing credits.
Oh, there we go. Chris Terrio. Oh, and Joss Whedon.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Okay. Well, give credit where credit's due. I think Chris Terrio was the main writer, or mostly writing on this project until you said something happened with that.
Oh no. That is Joss Whedon has a partial, I think, directing credit in there as well. Basically,
so he was writing this along with Chris Terrio.
Yeah,
for the whole thing.
And I mean, basically, there was he had a lot of involvement. I think even going back before this film, in the setup of the whole universe.
Right.
And so he's been working with Zach quite a bit leading up to it. Zach brought him onto this picture as one of the writers, because let's face it, one thing Joss Whedon is really well known for is for dealing with ensemble casts.
Yeah, excellent storylines.
He like between like Buffy and
Angel,
Firefly, Dollhouse. Then he did both of the Avengers films. One thing Joss is really, really good at is being able to manage time and relationships with a larger cast of main characters.
Except the first Avengers movie with the... I'm just joking. No, I really respect Joss, and I don't think... anyway.
Yeah, but so basically, due to personal tragedy, Zack Snyder wasn't able to complete this film on his own, so he basically trusted Joss Whedon to come in and complete the film, knowing that Joss would keep it to the vision that he had intended from the start. So,
but I think both Zach and Joss did an excellent job. Like, the cinematography in this film was just unreal.
Yeah,
like there's some parts you're just like, there's some parts you definitely haven't seen before in a movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which actually makes me want to talk about the 4DX experience.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you think?
Well,
this isn't your first time doing 4DX, right?
No. I've actually done several films now. Doctor Strange in 4DX, Thor Ragnarok. I went to go see Deadpool in 4DX.
Yeah. Well, let's be clear on that. They sold it as a 4DX show, and it had the motion seats. But 4DX, to me, includes the 3D, and Deadpool that wasn't filmed in 3D, it was 2D. But it had the 4DX elements.
But the
experience was there, yeah.
The experience was there.
Most, yeah.
But yeah, the thing about the this 4DX experience, and this is, I think, probably the first thing that I said to you the first time I went to 4DX, was that you were telling me that you had seen San Andreas.
Yes.
In 4DX, and that it was absolutely amazing.
Some movies are definitely made for 4DX.
and seeing Deadpool in it, parts of it were like a really good experience, but other parts I actually kind of found it distracting. So like
integration.
When they're in the vehicle and the vehicle's flipping, good.
Yeah.
But
if somebody closes the door, your chair shouldn't go to
the sometimes what they do is they put in a motion or a spray or whatever, just in order to like fill a blank moment in the effect, just because they want to try and take advantage of as much of the 4DX experience as they possibly can, and it's again a little bit distracting.
Yeah, well, in this movie, I think it actually worked out very well. You made a couple good points. The video actually just cut off there before, but we're continuing on. So you mentioned about looking over the edge.
Yes, because basically what will happen is like you have Batman standing on the ledge of a tall building, and it actually pitched the back of the seat would come up, and you lean forward, and it actually looked or felt like you were looking down in Batman's place, and you could actually feel like you were standing on the ledge as opposed to just like watching him like looking down. Yeah,
they actually integrated 4DX really well with this movie. Definitely action-packed sequences. Your chair's flying around.
There's actually another effect, and it was really, really subtle, and it just spoils nothing about the film, but there's this one scene with a vehicle going down a gravelly road, and there's little air jets under your seats, and they're like just shooting rapid fire like little bursts of air, and it actually felt like I was wearing sandals, and it felt like gravel and dust from the vehicle or,
I had no
hitting
idea
my
those
feet.
jets were there until today. I guess they were in previous films, but it was a very unique, unique experience for this film.
Yeah.
And you mentioned also about the hero from the hero's point of view, because you got the back puncher going on you.
Yeah, and the nice thing is like, you didn't get hit every time somebody got hit. You're basically, all of the effects were from the hero perspective. So, if someone gets slammed into a wall, then you get like little back punches and
or thrown to the ground or something.
So you kind of feel their experience, but it didn't happen every single time there was a hit on the screen. It was only when the hero was taking a hit. So it just really puts you in the role of the hero because you're feeling what they're going through.
So would you recommend that you see Justice League in 4DX if it's available in your area?
Definitely, yeah. It is a good experience. They didn't overuse it,
I concur with that. Yeah, it was definitely a really, really good experience. A very good addition to the film, and they didn't use the effects too much as well. It was very well integrated, subtle where it needs to be, very action packed where it needed to be. You almost lost your drink
a couple of times, because I'd take a sip of my drink and I'd go to stick it back into the cup holder. And then just all of a sudden the seat would lurch forward and my arm comes out. So, I started I'd take a sip of my drink and I'd just kind of hold my drink there, wait for the next hit. And as soon as that was done, I was like...
Right, yeah. We need to think about a movie rating for this one out of 10.
Oh, jeez.
Before we do this, I need to mention that, of course, 4DX is not the same as D-Box. I try and mention this every time. D-Box is a Canadian company. Good job, guys. But unfortunately, your motion system is a little subpar, compared to 4DX. The D-Box experience is about half that of 4DX. So take this recommendation with a grain of salt if you have a D-Box in your area. If you have 4DX, go and see it in 4DX for sure.
Yeah, I can't really speak from the D-Box experience. I usually don't.
They have one in Global Mall, close to Banqiao. Yeah, we're Taipei City, so out that way they do have a D-Box, and I have sat in D-Box here, and I didn't do an apples to apples comparison for movies. However, I can definitely tell you that they have many more effects in 4DX. Like I know D-Box is missing a few of the wind effects or jets or other stuff. I'm not sure exactly what they're missing, but I think they're missing 2 or 3. I did it in a previous video. But the range of motion, like that, the feeling where you saw Batman and it lift up and you look over like that, that's not apparent in D-Box. It just kind of throws you around a little bit, but 4DX is like, and you can easily hold on to your popcorn in D-Box. 4DX, I've lost popcorn before. So.
Well, and actually that
and other people in our theater did too.
Yeah, I've been kind of showered in popcorn in a previous film.
Oh.
I think that was actually when we went to go see Doctor Strange.
That was a good movie in 4DX.
That was good. That was a good movie in 4DX.
And Thor Ragnarok was also a good movie in 4DX. There's so many good movies in 4DX. Not all of them, but a lot of them are well done.
But as a point, and this is something, if you've never done 4DX, do pay attention because before they start the film, they have this little animated sequence that shows you the things that you should be careful of and things to avoid doing in 4DX.
Oh, you're talking about the foot getting pinched.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So, be careful if you have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the film.
Yeah, don't step close to the seats. There's a little footrest. If your foot's in the way, it'll come down.
And it can crush you. It can break your leg. Some of the movements are that jarring. And the footrest is basically like, a little plate that comes out.
It does actually swing out a little bit. It does move a little bit, which is nice, but still you can get some injury.
You can seriously hurt yourself. Yeah. Don't have any open drinks or especially hot drinks.
Not much of a concern to that in Canada.
Well, yeah,
they have
fair.
hot coffee.
Well, they do actually. Movie theaters there now. A lot of them will have like coffee or hot chocolate. A lot of them have little food fairs.
Wow, there you go. All right, so out of 10, what do you figure for this movie? Is it a definitive DC movie? Does it bring DC to the level of Marvel and or its own level? Because DC Marvel being
I don't want to compare it to Marvel. I honestly, growing up, I loved Marvel and DC, but for always very, very different reasons.
That's true.
Marvel was always very spectacular, and DC overall was a little bit darker, a little bit grittier, and I mean, part of that was the generation that I was growing up previously.
I think that's also what divides the fans so much, because you can never. It seems you can never please DC fans. There's no Lex Luthor good enough.
Yeah.
Even they picked Kevin Spacey or something. Everyone said, yeah, he's the man for this role. Then they said, oh, Kevin Spacey is terrible, and Lex Luthor. Well, I mean, you guys voted for him, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So to get away from that, I don't want to compare the two universes. And,
Nice
apparently I got a message.
There you go.
But
out of 10, what do you figure for this movie?
Out of 10, I would probably say that this movie is a solid 8, maybe 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I was entertained.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of promise of the things to come, so there's definitely that going for it.
I'm a fairly easy to please superhero fan. I want to see my favorite characters. I want to feel like these are the same characters I've grown up with, and they're going and fighting the same battles and everything else like that. I'm going to give this a 9.
Okay.
Because I felt like I have to think about the what could be better thing. And I mean, when you have Joss Whedon writing on it.
Yeah.
And also, taking over production duties. And Zack Snyder's vision, people talk a lot of crap about Zack Snyder, but he has made some excellent movies and has really brought these characters, and people love Man of Steel, and with excellent casting choices with Russell Crowe and his dad, Kevin Costner, was in that. Just brilliant casting choices, and the script was well done, and for this movie too, the script was excellent. Could they improved a little bit? Yeah, I guess a little bit. Maybe the Flash was slightly too klutzy for me, or campy. I don't want to say campy, but a little bit. But overall, it was an excellent experience.
Yeah. The experience was definitely great. Any of my thoughts on it is very, very nitpicky. I really don't want to get into it. I don't even think it's worth making another video in order
fair enough.
But overall, yeah, I mean, it set out to achieve what it needed to achieve. It was entertaining. There were good relationships. I think the pacing overall was really, really good.
So wait, you said 8 or 8.5. So which one is it? You got to pick one.
I'll say 8.5.
All right, fair enough. We may do a small spoiler video after this, so we'll see if we have time tonight, and if not, it'll probably come out in a few days. But thanks for watching,
and thumbs up if you like our video.
If you thought it was crap, then give us a thumbs down. Thumbs up if you did like it. Please like and subscribe.
Leave some comments down below. Seriously, if you agree, if you disagree. Anything relevant you have to say.
If you're Team Gustin. But thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Take care.